Warrington.
Well, you certainly gave him enough opportunities, didn't you, with 7 more penalties? So you've moved them up the field on.
And 5 more handling errors as well.
Precisely.
Although, like I say, there was a bulk of those, there was a group of those that were in attacking positions trying to force something good to happen.
There you go.
But yeah, I thoroughly loved it, and I was laughing all the way home. I could not believe it that we got out of that game and I was not watching extra time or being angry at a stupid kick-off from a player who never should be taking kick-offs.
Well, he did his best, didn't he? Bless him. Right.
And it was just about good enough.
Just about good enough.
Credit to George Williams kicking all his kicks.
Well, that's it. 5 out of 5.
Not used to that.
No, it's halcyon days, although Deck Patton kicked 5 out of 5 of his conversions as well, I think so. There's young kickers coming through.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Right, final quarter-final of the weekend. Hull FC 32, Castle Tigers 24 in front of 11,944. An off day for the Tigers.
Yeah, best attended and best atmosphere. Well, from the television pictures, Wigan's atmosphere in the stand was fantastic.
It looked like it was Redders as well there, didn't it?
Yeah, it was on Saturday as well, both games, so credit to all the players. But yeah, best atmosphere that came across on the TV of the games. And Paul O'Brien, 1976, we started with always the first in the door in the POB. Slow start from Castleford, and Hull took full advantage. Great first half with only a penalty between them. Good second half with Hull edging it after some great game management by taking points when in a position to do so.
Richard Wilkinson said the first big test for the CAS 2017 all-conquering treble winning team, and they fell at the first hurdle. Banjos at half-mast tonight. Gale went missing for large parts. Hull just wanted it more and executed better. There will be some self-doubt in a CAS dressing room. I wonder if he's trying to get in their heads next week. The next big test is to get over that. The great semi coming up against Leeds. Hull seldom beat the Rhinos, so it should be a cracker.
Tyler Cass fan said the game is all about tactics, and Radfords were spot on. They kept Luke Gale quiet, won the middle, won the rucks, took penalty kicks when in range and denied Cass the ball. But we'll learn a lot from that and we'll be even better for it come the end of the season.
Sarah, but I presume this is Scoots. Sarah,
yeah.
Wow, what a match. I was confident before the match. A flying start and we looked good. Daft mistakes let Cass back in. Smart play in the second half to keep us in the cup. Great team play. Can't wait to watch it back now.
Dr. Bob Phillips said, could have seen Cass getting away with that, but the slips of concentration against a team that were set only on winning took Hull through in the end. Felt like a semi-final though, so well done both teams.
Yeah, Wardy, Ben Ward 001 on Twitter, if you'll give him a follow, said, another game dictated by poor reffing. When can we have a good game that no one talks about the ref?
He's the only one that...
I was going to say, I haven't heard anyone.
I can only remember one decision that was sort of questionable, and it was when Cass were kind of trying to mount the comeback. There was a tackle in the air that wasn't given as a penalty, and Cass made nothing of the following set and could have had a clearing penalty, couldn't they?
Okay.
That's the only one that springs to mind that I can recall, though.
There you go, Fat Boy Rob.
He says, this was probably a great match for the neutral, and there certainly was a great atmosphere, which I hope came through on the TV. A disappointing performance from Cass. We couldn't get going in the first half, and we were lucky to go in at half-time only 2 points down. In the second half, we were penalised out of the match. If you keep giving away kickable penalties in a tight game, you're going to lose. Great day out, though.
Rich Langley said, massive respect to all 34 players who played in that heat. Hull battled past their injury crisis to take Cass on up the middle and bottle up their dangerous edges. Cass will be unlikely to make that many mistakes or infractions again, but Hull made them pay and Red's tactics worked to a T. Some sore Cass fans on social media, brackets a minority, but you have to say that the best team won on the day.
AK Steel 69 said, the cart horse...
Get so excited. Get so excited.
The cart horse looked at the show pony, smiled, then kneed it in the bollocks, punched it in the teeth and said, not so fucking pretty now, are you? Funny how teams always play so badly when Hull beat them. Success is addictive, and when you've had a taste of it, you want more. Are prepared to do anything to get it, and more importantly, know what to do to get it. Hull played to their strengths and managed the game superbly.
There you go. And Nicky and Phil, the Nadines, got in touch. Lovely to hear from you both. Said, now then lads, what a scorcher. Well, what a cracking game of rugby. The performance by Hull was phenomenal and Cass struggled to get possession in the first quarter. With Hull having a strong team available, it showed by Cass not having the ball. Second half, Gale had a major paddy and threw his toys out of the cot at the amount of penalties. From there, it's downhill for Cass. Good to meet up with Fat Boy Rob for a pint.
Yeah, we got a little picture. Callie was doing a famous tongue out, and we had the Nadines and Rob.
I wonder if you got to drink from the hip flask of truth.
He was driving, Rob, so he was probably only on a 1 pint after the game maximum. Yeah, but
I love the fact that we can do this, and people who never the twain shall meet actually get to nip and say hello to each other and stuff like that. I think that's fabulous. I'm quite very proud of our little pod family.
Yeah, our clan. Yeah,
that's
great.
it.
Full disclosure, Tom. Full disclosure time. I only listened to the first half on the radio,
right,
and then watched the second half. I was family Father's Day barbecue at my dad's house.
Yeah, I was in and out of this one.
So we listened to the radio on the first half. It sounded like Hull were very much in control, but Cass scored against the grain in a little way. Took their chances that came along to them when Hull were the better team in that first half, and the penalty that edged them ahead meant they got a deserved half-time lead.
Yeah.
Second half though was all Hull FC aside for that.
Well, there was that period where Cass threatened when they were ahead briefly, wasn't there?
Yeah. So after the Jake Connor penalty that kicked off the half, then Ben Roberts scored, didn't he? And then kind of missed a penalty, made a penalty, then missed a penalty. But there was only that Ben Roberts try that looked like, that the comeback was on. When Minikin scored near the end, it was too late and it was already done. It was that double hitter of the Fanua and Shaw tries. Shaw's try was phenomenal, weren't it? From the kick-off, they went with the set up the middle, but they had fast men coming in off big men and hitting space around tired men in ridiculous heat, and that's a recipe for success. And then the way Shaw sort of got the ball off to Mavavi, I think it was, and then made sure he kept himself in the play and kept himself available, was really good, because he was needed in the end to finish the try. That was an exceptional try. I thought the kick for Hardaker's try by Gale was brilliant. People have sort of mentioned Gale going missing in the game, and he didn't control things from a Castleford perspective as much as we've seen, particularly in their home games this year.
Yeah.
But that kick on its own shows us the glimpses of class. It was Ben Roberts' running game that was the threat. It was Roberts and Kelly's running games. Kelly was supported a bit more by other people, though, with runs down the middle. People like Tumavavi getting involved, Talanoa coming in off his wing and taking carries down the middle, and Fanua obviously taking a lot of carries, taking a lot of pressure off the forwards, the ginger and blonde forwards on a hot day.
Yeah, it's almost unfair, isn't it?
But yeah, so that all worked for Hull. The power game worked.
Supplemented by Jake Connor's performance as well, though, out and line with the boot, marching them round admirably. It's almost like they don't miss Mark Sneed.
Well, yeah, possibly. He's a little bit more dynamic, but a little bit less consistent, I'd say, than Sneed. But his kicking result in this game was good. The one he missed was kickable, certainly, wasn't it? But I actually thought, even though the game was tied at that point, that was the point where I thought Hull didn't need to go for goal.
Right.
Because Hull at that point were playing the game faster than Castleford were. And Castleford were giving away penalties because they couldn't get up fast enough, basically. Because Hull were backing up a big man with a quick man. A big man with a quick man. And they were winning penalties as a result of it.
Yeah.
And they were all penalties. There was no question in my mind about the legitimacy of what was going on there, and I actually thought they had them on the rack, and if they'd have not kicked the goal at that point, was it 54 minutes, the timeline here says, if they'd have not gone for that goal at that point, I kind of thought they could have scored anyway, but as it were, they missed the goal, they got the ball back, they got another penalty, scored another goal, but then it was off the back of that. Any particular moment stand out for you?
Nope.
Or players?
Well, I talked about him before. I talked about Jake Connor's performance again. He was awarded man of the match, from what I understand. And like I say, I had one eye on it. I always enjoy watching the Fanua to Mavave.
No, Mahe Fanua was the official man of the match.
Right, according to
according to the BBC.
Okay, fair play. So one of the trade papers has given it Jake Connor, so I tended to agree with that. But
I thought it was for Fanua or Talanoa for me, just because the relentlessness of their support for their forwards, they're getting the sets off to a good start, and they had big impacts on the game with the tries that they scored. And I know Connor's goal kicking was important.
Certainly was. So there you go.
The Fanua try, the ghost dummy through the legs.
Right.
That's quite a moment.
I've not seen it. I need to go back and watch some of the highlights then from what I've seen, because I didn't see that try.
Ah, right.
Like I say, it was on in the background of the conservatory, and I kept my eye on the score as it was ticking over, but I didn't see absolutely.
Well, it was a barge over typical Fanua overpowering his opposite centre kind of try in the end, but it started with him taking a catch and dummying to throw it through his legs, and then setting off for the line. Yeah, well, bit weird.
There you go. Hey,
but yeah, the Shaw try that came on the next set from that was highlight reel stuff of the highest order.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds like a great game for all involved then, especially the people that made the trip over to Hull. They would have enjoyed it, but the people of Hull, nice little Father's Day treat for some of those lads, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think everyone will have enjoyed the game, I think, because it was played at a high speed for the heat that way it was in, and lots of good tries were scored by both sides.
That's it. So, Hull, Leeds, Wigan and Salford all through the semis. What can you tell us about where and when they're going to be?
Well, it's going to be Hull FC versus Leeds at the Keep Moat Stadium, Doncaster, on Saturday the 29th of July, and then it's going to be Wigan versus Salford at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, Warrington, Sunday the 30th of July. So hopefully everyone snaps up their tickets for that. I understand the tickets are going to go on sale at either 20 or 22 for your adults, but then with a discount for season ticket holders of those clubs. So I hope these stadiums get almost filled. I worry Wigan fans tend to assume they're going to get to the final, so want to save the money to spend on that, which I think is a disgrace.
Yeah, and Salford have got 9 fans.
That's the problem, isn't it? So
that's going to be quite well.
And the other side of the coin, small enough, but the Keep Moat should be full. It's a feisty encounter, and these two teams have got a reputation for not liking each other. I think it'd be a cracking game.
That's it. In fact,
if the Keep Moat wasn't so far away, I would try and go to this game.
Yeah. Well, Hull and Leeds fans are online whinging about the fact that the Keep Moat isn't big enough. So we'll have to see. It's a long way away, more than a month, but. Who are you picking? Obviously, you're picking Wigan to beat Salford.
At the moment, as it stands, I would have to pick Hull FC because of the last 2 performances against the top 2 sides in the league. Yeah, I think they've shown me complete performances that they were failing to show me until the Salford game.
Oh, there you go. I think you'll have enough to beat Salford now that you've got some of these lads back.
I agree, yeah.
Although I do think Leeds might come out on top at the Keep Moat, because we've got 6 weeks of them playing, haven't we? So
I would like
things could change at Hull.
I would like, if we were to win, to have a Hull FC final. Right. I was going to say because it makes it different, but actually we played Hull FC at Wembley more recently when we played Leeds. But there's a storyline of Hull trying to retain it, Wigan trying to bounce back from a disappointing season. We'll see.
There you go. So, predictions, Super Brew and Dream Team. No Super Brew or Dream Team this week because it's the Challenge Cup, but how are things doing in the predictions?
Oh yeah, well there was a Super Brew and Dream Team because there was the one game, but
of course, nothing's
really changed. No. And I didn't bother checking the Super Brew to see who'd won. In fact, you probably won it, the Cat, because you predicted the score bang on. So an 8-point difference.
There you go.
Or whatever it ended up. We'll get to it in a second. But both 4 out of 5 this week we were, Tom. So it stays as it was with a 9-point margin. I'm on 76 and you're on 85 for the season so far.
Okay, but plenty of matches between now and then. That's not much of a lead at all, is it? Okay, that's the Challenge Cup taken care of. Let's take a look at some results from elsewhere in the world of rugby league. Right, so to results from elsewhere in the world of rugby league, we've got a Super League encounter to bring you from back in round 16. Huddersfield and St Helens played their postponed fixture, and it was Huddersfield 24, St Helens 16 in front of 5,660 mark.
Yeah, and we start with at Saints Wigan banter. Yet again, Saints start like a tortoise slowly. Huddersfield stick some points on the board. Saints decided to wake up. Poor first half, second half